Victor News contributor Rick Green. Rick, how can those folks on MSNBC call for an end to dehumanizing their opponents and listening to other perspectives while they name call and turn a deaf ear the very same segment?
Well, I just can't believe you guys would expect intellectual honesty and consistency from MSNBC. I thought, as you were playing the clip, that surely they were talking about, when they talked about the violence, surely they were talking about the year-long burning of our cities by Black Lives Matters and Antifa. Of course, that's probably who they're referring to there. And what is this othering? Is the TV show Lost now? Are we now talking about the others? I'm just confused. They love making up words that make them feel good. I will say the last part of that clip that you played, though, she's right. We should be talking about the fact that we have a lot of diversity in America, and we should come back to exactly as she said, American values. They don't even know what American values are. They're remaking American values to be communist values. That's what we have to stop and remind people what it really means to be an American.
All right. The Secretary of Education is trying to assure CNN and the rest of us that the $300 billion of student loan shifted to taxpayer. Well, it's okay. Take a listen.
How much does this cost?
The projections are still coming out depending on how many people take advantage of it.
I mean, how will this be paid for?
Look, the president has been very clear about reducing the deficit.
They never really answer a direct question there, Rick. My body, my choice, your loan, my responsibility. This student loan debt shifting to working people feels immoral. And when you watch Joe Biden in that clip, you can just see the disdain that he has for the regular American people, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it, Tim. I think it's coming through loud and clear. And of course, the dishonesty is going to continue. And really what we're looking at here, according to some studies that are looking at this, up to $500 billion, actually up to $600 billion. They're saying 440 to 600, so roughly 500 on average, because, frankly, they've been doing a lot of this through COVID as it is. I mean, they've already forgiven close to $100 billion based on the way that they've paused the loans and not charged interest and other things that they've done here. People know this is immoral and wrong, but what does the Bible tell us? That woe to them that will call good evil and evil good. And essentially what they're doing is calling theft good here. And they're calling, not paying back and not fulfilling your promises. They're calling that good. We know better. And I think they've gone too far, and they will answer for this.
Okay, I know you were shocked as much as I was when this whistleblower said the FBI agents were instructed to steer clear of the Hunter Biden laptop and not influence the 2020 election. If that's true, what's at stake legally here, Rick?
Well, further evidence that the FBI is just too far gone. It's a taken institution at this point. It needs to be completely defunded. And if we're going to have federal law enforcement like this, then we need to start over. I'm not sure you need federal law enforcement like this. I think state agencies can take over these responsibilities. It certainly worked fine for us for the first 150 years of our country. And I think we should go back to that model and stop having these faraway agencies in Washington, D.C. able to come into our local communities and take over and trump what our local law enforcement can do.
Yeah, if you keep believing this government, your pronouns will be went and was. Rick, former Republican, now Democrat, Charlie Crist is running against Governor DeSantis with the motto that he's the uniter. But listen to this soundbite.
Those who support the governor should stay with him and vote for him, and I don't want your vote. If you have that hate in your heart, keep it there.
Never heard anybody say, I don't want your vote. How's that united?
Yeah, well, he's not going to get those votes. Telling you, Ron DeSantis has done such a good job in Florida. Charlie Crist doesn't have a chance here. He's always been someone that would put their finger to the wind and be whatever was popular at the time. His values have always been for sale. That's why he switched parties like he did. And it's not going to pay off this year. Florida's even more Republican today than it was whenever DeSantis got elected 4 years ago. So I think he's in for a rude awakening come November. Charlie Crist is in for a rude awakening.
Right. Rick, there's a new controversy in woke education, the no zero grading policy. It bans teachers from giving students grades below 50% because too many zeros can make it hard for kids to pass. It makes it hard for you to pass. Your reaction?
The dumbing down of America. Rush Limbaugh used to talk about this years ago. It's been on a downward spiral for a long time. They think feelings are more important than actual results and actually learning things and making yourself better. Tough love is something they don't believe in at all. And we can see from the numbers and the stats, it absolutely has failed. Education is deplorable right now because of these woke, feel-good policies instead of the good old-fashioned teaching truth and then expect good, high expectations of those kids. I learned a whole lot more from classes where I had a teacher that was hard on me and I had to work hard for an A and sometimes work hard for a C. I learned a lot more because of that.
That's going to make competition for valedictorian a lot more difficult now if everybody's passing. Rick, thanks. We'll be back in just a moment.